Hey guys, welcome to this quick update on the tropics. And you've got tropical storm Joyce that formed yesterday. Now 50 winds of 50 miles an hour and a pressure of 996 millibars. I think that's what the millibar pressure is anyway. Let me have a look. Um, no, 1004 millibars. Maximum sustained winds is 45 knots, which is 50 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure is 1004 millibars. Like it's at 20.0 degrees north and 46.0 degrees west. Movement northwest at 9 knots, which is 10 miles an hour. Then we have Hurricane Isaac, which is 105 miles an hour, which was not expected. It was only expected to peak as 90 miles an hour, which it's very rare to get a Category 2 hurricane up here. It has happened in the past, but you don't usually get them further north of the Azores. You don't usually get them up in this general area because there's usually a lot of wind shear that would rip these systems apart, and obviously it goes into colder waters. But if we have to watch it over here in Europe, Spain. I have to watch it over in my home country, the UK, France. So basically, even though this storm is going to be moving out towards the northwest over here, it can still deliver it can still deliver strong winds to the Shetland Islands up north, and the islands off the British Isles. Ireland could get some surf from this. Scotland could get some very strong gusty winds, probably up to like tropical storm force, and maybe even pushing hurricane force winds up on the northern part of the coast. The northern part of the US, no, I mean the northern part of the UK will get some blustery winds, while the south will probably get some only rainfall and minor winds and stuff like that. But other than that, the whole general weather around down the south should be remaining drier for the next couple of days. But when this system moves over here on Wednesday, this system will be delivering some very heavy rainfall to parts of Scotland and Wales, um, and the northern Shetland Islands. Um, so um, so just keep out for the warnings. Keep out for your local authorities. Mateo France, the Met Office here in the UK, and I don't know what it is in Portugal. But yeah, this could hinder some shipping lanes as it heads towards the United Kingdom and the Shetland Islands. And I mean, yeah, the Shetland Islands. I don't know. I know the Faroe Islands. That's it. Yeah, this could hinder some shipping for the next couple of days until like Thursday, Friday. So it's meant to dissipate on Thursday, but we could have the remnants here about Saturday. So do expect some very strong gusty winds and some very heavy rainfall. It is moving pretty fast, east northeast at 20 miles an hour. The last update was at 3 p.m. GMT time. The next update will be about 8 o'clock, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for this storm. So I'll show you Tropical Storm Joyce real quick. 50 miles an hour. It's not really going to intensify more as it heads into this general area. There's very unfavorable conditions, very high wind shear. The dry air is going to be infiltrating on this system, and this system should generally have no system to its core in the next couple of days, as the wind shear is coming from the south, and it's going to be ripping this system apart, because it's going to be ripping this system apart like this on all shapes. So as it moves up here, it's going to be literally ripping the wind shear. Is going to completely rip the tops off on this storm. So that this is not going to really be a threat. But the other two area of interests that was out there could actually propose a significant threat to well, this could propose a significant threat to the US, Texas, Louisiana, Florida. Again, you guys need to watch out for this system, because this could be a Helene number 2. I'm not saying it will get as strong as Helene, but most of the models have been trending further up. Most of the models have been keeping it in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, pretty much over in this general direction, which if it does do that again, I'm not saying it will, but if it does hit the panhandle again, that'll be the first time in history that 3 storms have hit the panhandle of Florida in recent years. Basically, you had Debbie that hit the panhandle of Florida this year. You had Helene that hit the panhandle of Florida this year. And you have 2 major hurricanes. If we have 2 major hurricanes that hit Florida, that means that 3 storms would have hit Florida. And the last time that happened was back in 2004 with Francine, Jean, and I don't know what the other storm was, but Francine, Jean, and a couple more other storms that impacted Florida. But yeah, most of the models do want it keeping into Eastern Gulf. Now, whether it goes and makes landfall in Florida and moves up towards the East Coast, or whether it does this and makes landfall just on the border between Louisiana and Florida, or it makes landfall in the panhandle of Florida, or it goes towards Louisiana or Texas on the border between Texas. It's not going to go any further than the Western Gulf, as there's a trough coming down from the US, from Nebraska, Illinois, all that. There's a massive trough coming down from the US, and it should generally keep the storm off towards this way in the Eastern Gulf. So I'll show you the model ones real quick. But in the Eastern Gulf of Mexico, keep an eye out for this system again. But this storm, which could become Leslie, it says here, Eastern and Central Tropical Atlantic, an elongated low pressure located over a couple of 100 miles west of the Cape Verde Islands continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of this system. A tropical depression will likely form during the early part or middle part of next week, while this system moves towards the west and the northwest across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. And they're giving that a 30% chance in the next 42 days and a 70% chance in the next 7 days. So the tropics are the Atlantic's finally starting to wake up again, which I told you guys that we're going to have a backlog season, but no one believed me. No one believed me that we're going to have a backlog season. And you can see it right now. There's meant to be more activity on the way after these 2 areas of interests. So I wouldn't write the Atlantic off just yet. And the ACE is significantly up after Helene, and the damage is significantly up after Helene. I'll show you the damages in a minute from Helene. But in the East Pack, you've got a little area of low pressure. It might not do something. It was in the general area that John was in. Good conditions, probably might become a weak tropical storm, maybe a borderline hurricane. Not quite entirely sure yet, but I'll show you the model ones real quick. Obviously, you can see the La Nina starting to dissipate again. I think it's only a short La Nina, basically. More on that in the off season. After the 30th, I'll do a recap of the Atlantic hurricane season on the 30th or 31st of November. But we've got here we go. So basically, you've got that area of interest here, which is potential Kirk or Leslie. We've got this one here, which is potentially Leslie. And then you got Joyce here. You got Isaac up here, which is heading off towards Europe right now. You have this one, which could generally track in this direction. Now, we don't. It's uncertain because the models think the high pressure system is going to be back to normal, where it could push the system further towards the west. Or in some models, want it to move in west northwest and pretty much do that go in that general direction, or it can pretty much do what Joyce is doing and move out, become a massive ace maker, because they want this to become a major hurricane. As you can see, it really rapidly intensifies. As you can see, it's starting to move. It's starting to move in that northerly trajectory, and then you can see you got a 959 millibar hurricane in the Gulf. That's a Category 3 hurricane. That's a Category 3 hurricane right there in the Gulf. Pretty much heading towards exactly the same spot, just making landfall in Pensacola, Florida. So that means 2 storms in potentially in a week or something. If this does form now, this is what, probably 5 days out from now. So do take it as a grain of salt. This storm might not form. This storm might not get as strong. This storm might not stay as a week, or might not become anything. But this storm for sure definitely becomes a massive ace producer in the Atlantic. Probably your strong Category 4. Mid-range Cat 4 to strong Cat 4. I don't think there will be a Cat 5. If it really rapidly intensifies like what Lee did last year, then for sure it could become a Cat 5. But I don't see it happening, to be fair. Pretty much it forms on the 20. This system forms on the 29th. So pretty much it forms tomorrow. The GFS wants it to form tomorrow. The system in the Caribbean wants it to be forming by September 30th. So that could be either a weak tropical storm or tropical depression, or it could be a potential tropical cyclone as it heads towards the north. And then on the October 2nd, you could see 2 tropical cyclones active at once. And then obviously that one moves towards, that actually goes over the Yucatan. Now, if this one goes over the Yucatan, it'll be weaker as it enters the eastern Gulf of Mexico. You can see a little area spin in the Bay of Campeche, which pretty much gets, but they do want this moving into the western Gulf. Now, anywhere in the Gulf this could move, but apparently there is rumours. Apparently, I did hear that there's going to be a trough coming back, which should significantly push the system towards Florida again. So it could happen, but yet again, it might not happen. So I'm not trying to be a scaremonger here, but I think because Helene was in the best conditions, I think this storm will rapidly intensify. This storm will definitely become a major, for sure. And the reason why I'm telling you it become a major, because Helene was in the best conditions that the Atlantic has ever had this season. The only storm that had significantly good conditions was Belle. Belle and Helene, those 2 storms had significant conditions. Warm sea surface temperatures, a moist atmosphere, no dry air. Pretty much there was single to no dry air. There was like 5 to 0 knots of wind shear on both of the systems. Yet there was a little bit of wind shear up here, which is to be expected because there was a trough here which was pushing. It was pushing Helene. Helene formed over here. It pushed Helene towards the panhandle of Florida. If that trough wasn't here, it probably would have went towards the eastern Gulf, probably. probably made landfall in Mexico, where most of our storms have made landfall this year. But you can see this system getting relatively close to. You can see the system getting relatively close to Louisiana as a Category 3 hurricane, or borderline Cat 3 to Cat 2 hurricane. Makes landfall pretty much near. It does make landfall. I think it does make landfall in Florida. Yep. It makes landfall in Florida, but I think it makes landfall just on the border between Florida and Louisiana, and no, Florida and Mississippi. So Florida, you could have another storm again this season, and then obviously the Atlantic's meant to be off the charts for a couple of days, but just because it's got to the 14th doesn't mean that you're not going to get any activity afterwards, because this could be a little subtropical storm that just moves out towards the open ocean. Could do something similar to what Isaac did up here, where it's a Category 2 hurricane. It actually looks pretty good on satellite imagery, I'm not going to lie. I mean, right now, Isaac does not look good. It did look good earlier on, though. I mean, conditions was so good for it, but it's definitely weakening. We do have Tropical Storm Carathon and Tropical Depression Jebi in the Western Pacific. Now, this storm will probably be impacting the likes of Taiwan, China, and stuff like that. Jebi is out in the main development region of the Western Pacific. I'll get the JTWC up real quick for you guys, so you guys can have a quick look at the cone and stuff like that. But yeah, you've got Jebi, which is now a tropical depression. You've got Tropical Storm Carathon, if that's how you pronounce it. You've got Jebi over here, which did form over here, by the way. And it's moved up towards over here, moving out towards the open ocean. And you got Carathon, which could become a significant typhoon as it heads in this general area. I've showed you in my last video that this storm could become a significant typhoon, and they are predicting 105 knots, which I believe that's borderline Category 2 to Category 3 hurricane status, which this could become a Cat 2 to Cat 3 typhoon. 110 knots, so that is Cat 3. That's a Category 3 hurricane just off the coast of Taiwan, right there, off the coast of Taiwan. Now, it's meant to be brushing and going. This storm reminds me of Gamey, because, okay, yeah, Gamey did form further down here, and went like this, and then basically did a loop like that, and then went like that. But this storm is reminding me of Gamey, where it's going to be moving out towards near Taiwan. So whether it makes landfall in Taiwan, or whether it goes out towards the open ocean like that and give impacts to Okinawa, Kadena, and these Ogasawara islands here, Amami, Oshima, Kadena, Miyakojima, Okinawa, places like that. But then as it comes over here, it could move anywhere in this cone. So anyone in this cone, the reason why it's massive, because it could move anywhere in that general cone when it moves towards the north. So it could go towards China, it could go towards South Korea, it could go towards Japan. We don't know what this system will do yet. So that's Carathon. No, this one is more of a significant threat than Jebi. I will show you Jebi though, because Jebi is near the islands right now. It was a tropical storm, but it is meant to be a tropical storm again, because there's just a little bit of wind shear which is just hindering it from becoming a tropical storm again. But as soon as it clears that wind shear, it could get up to about 70 knots, which is about 80 miles an hour. So it could get to an 80-mile-an-hour typhoon as it heads towards the open ocean, and could still be a 40-mile-an-hour tropical storm as it heads towards the Kuril Islands in Russia, in these islands up here. Because the waters up here are actually, because global warming, the waters up here are significantly warmer than what they should be at this time of year. Yes, I know it's late September, October, and the tropics are and it's prime for the tropics to be active this year, this time of month. But you don't usually see tropical storms lasting this long, this far north. No, this is why that Europe or Russia gets these tropical storms, and they, because sometimes some tropical storms come very close to Europe before, as a subtropical or tropical system before they transition into extratropical. I mean, Lorenzo did it back in 2019. It just became an extratropical storm as it was like 200, 300 miles away from the United Kingdom. Don did it last year. So, yeah. Also, I will show you the damage from Helene real quick this season. Obviously, the strongest storm this season has been Beryl, with winds of 165 miles an hour and a pressure of 934 millibars. It was a Cat 5. So far this season, we've had $29.57 billion of damages in the US. 10 tropical depressions, 10 tropical storms, 6 hurricanes, and two majors. That will probably go up with these next two storms. So the average is 8, and the average is 3 majors, if you know what I mean. So we've had 143 fatalities this season, so far, which is not good at all. But the storms that we've had is Alberto. We've had Alberto, Beryl. Alberto has caused 179 million. Beryl has caused 6.86 million, and well, Helene has caused $20 billion. So anyway, stay tuned for the next update. I'll see you all guys in the next video. Don't forget to stay tuned from these potential systems and Isaac in the Northern Atlantic, which could hit Europe in a couple of days' time. So stay prepared for that. If you live in the UK or France or Spain, wherever you live in Europe, it could impact us. So anyway, stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay peace and have a great day.